All right, today let's talk about that Sky Bridge, the super popular route between Dubai and Hyderabad. We're going to do a full deep dive into the Flydubai experience. We're talking everything from check-in to landing, all to find out what does that budget ticket actually get you.
And that's really the big question, isn't it? When you book a low-cost flight, are you actually getting a smart deal? Or are you just, signing up for a tight squeeze? That's what we're going to figure out. And for most of us, the best place to start is always the price.
So, first things first, let's take a look at the route we're flying, and of course the number that really matters to everyone. How much does it cost?
So we're talking about a flight that's about 3.5 hours long, covering more than 2,500 kilometers. It's a really vital connection, for business, for tourism, for families, and it's usually on a modern Boeing 737. And wow, just look at that price difference, right? For an economy seat, you're looking at somewhere between, say, 200 and 350 euros. But for business class, that jumps all the way up to 780, maybe even over 1,000. That right there, that huge potential for savings, that's the whole game for a budget airline like Flydubai. Okay, so the price definitely has our attention, but what's the actual journey like? Let's kick things off with the ground experience. Everything that happens before your feet even leave the ground. And you know what? It's a really strong start. Dubai's Terminal 2 gets a solid 8.4. It works well even if it gets a bit busy. Then on the other side, Hyderabad's airport scores an even better 8.7 for being so modern and efficient. So right off the bat, you can expect a pretty smooth experience at both ends of your trip. So you're through security, you've grabbed your coffee, and you're at the gate. How does Flydubai actually get everybody from the terminal onto the plane? Well, it's pretty much what you'd expect. They use a grouped boarding system, and because it's a smaller, narrow-body plane, the whole thing moves along pretty fast. I mean, sure, the gate area can get a little jammed sometimes, but overall, it's all about getting you on board quickly. And that score, an 8 out of 10, really reflects that. It's a good, solid score for boarding. It basically tells us that when it comes to the on-the-ground part, Flydubai is efficient and gets the job done without a lot of hassle. All right, we're on the plane. Time for the main event. What's it actually like inside the cabin? This is where that low-cost model really starts to show. Let's see what you get for those 3.5 hours in the air. And let's be honest, this is what everyone wants to know about a budget airline, right? The seat. Are you going to have any room to breathe? Okay, let's get into the specifics. It's your pretty standard 3-3 setup in economy. Now the key numbers are 30 inches of pitch, that's your legroom, and 17 inches of width. Look, for a 3.5-hour flight, that's fine. It's adequate. But, and this is the big but, if you're a taller person, you're probably going to feel a little snug.
That's why a score of 7.3 out of 10 just feels right. It's not a luxury score. It's a functional one. It tells you, hey, this seat will get you there just fine, but it's not going to win any awards for being super spacious.
So you're in your seat. What about food and drinks? How does Flydubai handle in-flight service?
No surprises here. It's the classic buy-on-board system. Your ticket doesn't come with a meal, but you can buy whatever you want. Snacks, hot food, drinks. And from what we hear, the quality's actually pretty decent for what you're paying.
And that's reflected in the score, a 7 out of 10. You have the choice to buy decent food if you want it, but since it's not included, the score naturally isn't as high as what you'd find on a full-service airline. Makes sense.
Okay, so you're settled, maybe you grabbed a bite to eat. How are you supposed to pass the time for the next couple of hours?
Now this is a really important heads up. The entertainment situation can be a bit of a lottery. Some of their planes have those personal screens in the seat back, but others just have a wireless system where you have to stream shows to your own phone or tablet. So definitely come prepared with your own device just in case. The 7.2 score really captures that inconsistency. The entertainment is there, but since you don't know for sure if you'll have a screen or need to use your own gadget, it's something you absolutely have to keep in mind before you fly.
Okay, we've walked through the whole process, from the terminal floor to 30,000 feet. It's time to put it all together. Let's get to the final verdict. Was it actually worth it?
And this slide just lays it all out plain and simple. On the plus side, you get great prices, super efficient boarding, and new planes. The trade-offs? Well, you're paying extra for meals, you've got a bit less legroom, and that entertainment system can be a mixed bag. And here's the full report card. You can see really high scores for the airports and the boarding process. Then, the scores for things like seat comfort and food are a bit lower, which is exactly the trade-off you expect with a budget airline model.
All of which leads us to this final number, a 7.8 out of 10.
And honestly, that's a really solid score. It's not just a passing grade. It tells you that Flydubai is a reliable, functional, and genuinely good value option for this trip.
So it all comes back to that first question, doesn't it? For a 3.5-hour flight, is saving a few $100 worth a little less legroom and buying your own snacks? Well, now you've got all the info, the final call. That's up to you.